Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good? I can't play the game right now. My fingers are cold. So, man, it's been a wild ride in JoJo, and I just guess it's gonna continue to be like that. They really just don't care about how these characters end up, and it's pretty crazy to actually see in the grand scheme of things, like just how ridiculous people are getting like offed in this show. And not only that, the fact that we're all probably going to see some very painful stuff throughout this what today was episode 36, I believe, so we still have 3 episodes left. Like, I'm pretty sure Diablos is just supposed to win at this point. Like, I don't think he's supposed to lose. Like, me and Shy are pretty convinced that they've just created a character that wasn't supposed to lose. That's his whole thing. My God, this week's episode of just what he accomplishes, how he accomplishes it. Um, I'm not sure there's anybody I would be more afraid of in the JoJo verse than Emperor Crimson right now. Like, my God. So, it kicks off with us right at the arrow and coming to find out that for some reason when the arrow was about to get shot and like, not arrow, when um, Requiem was about to get shot, the Berserk freaking stand, for some reason Mista's pistol like just straight up breaks, and somehow it breaks in such a fashion that even the stands who practically live inside the pistol, maintenance and help fix the pistols, seemingly, like they at least probably know how Mista does it, seeing how they knew that that was probably one of the main factors why it was acting the way it was. So not only that, we then have the overall fact that um, he somehow tricked them to practically not believing, like believing their own, thought process and not, going with their gut feeling, which their gut feeling was King Crimson already had done something, right? Like, as soon as one of them had said something about King Crimson, they all kind of like started freaking out about it because they didn't want to just be the one to bring that to the situation overall. But it was true. Like, the one was like straight up right for saying it, and it seemingly was right. Um, Absolutely hype way to keep King Crimson absolutely like seemingly untouchable and unfazable, because not only was King Crimson like in a situation where he knew what was happening, how it was happening, and like I've been saying throughout every episode that they seemingly learn more information about anything, he's learning it too, so that was one of the things I never understood why they didn't like question or ever try to figure out if he could, is if he has this information, what would he do with it? You know what I mean? Like, he might go completely ham sauce with this type of information. And here you are talking about it in broad daylight in the middle of New York. No, but it's funny to me that this show, lives life by talking everything out in the open, and including with someone as deadly as someone who can time skip, and not only time skip, but kind of like this arrow, predict whatever's going to happen and then react to it accordingly. And the arrow reacts to it with offense, he reacts to it with defense. So he's like he's the polar opposite of the arrow. And even like controlling the arrow don't control time and stuff, but uh, the way it controls this whole situation right now, the way this whole situation is turning into what it is right now, it's kind of clear to me that there's some greater ability that can be unlocked through any stand. Like, Pantiv's stand, or Pintiv's, whatever, his chariot was pretty basic. It was a basic, like, in your face grappler stand. Like, it just run up on you and try to stab you. I don't know why I said grappler. I meant to say like just brawler. Brawler is the word I meant to use. And because of that, it having an ability that when it goes berserk or gets this arrow changes everybody else's who's near each other's body. Not only that, after a while, it starts to create new species out of those people who have been switched. Like, what the heck is going on with this Stan's ability? And how could we then, trust any... Well, I think... Okay, so here's my two conclusions on how could we trust this arrow to anybody. The reason why Gene was there in the first place was because he knew one of them could actually withstand the power. So he already knew he was not capable of taking whatever this arrow was and completely finishing out the task like he could have in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, he has the arrow. He could have literally poked himself at any time he happened to find Diablo and fight him, and he could have did it while he found out just then and there when he started sneaking up on the stairs. Why didn't he just poke himself? And I think that's because of his knowledge of the arrow and knowing that he had no control of it when he first witnessed the power in the first place, or just the personal fact that I kind of lost my other reasoning because that reasoning was so good. I was like, why is there another reason? I'm not gonna lie. So because of that, I think that's the main reason why his stand's going crazy, and I guess anybody else's stand who gets it that he was looking into supposedly would not have these types of overall breaking out. It wouldn't the stand wouldn't go berserk, I should just say, is pretty much what he had in mind for the people who were in this battle, in this situation. But to think that they just straight up killed off Trish feels a little bit too true to be. I mean, they're getting there. Like, next week's episode, literally she's either dead or alive. And I can say that because they're doing the same trove that they've done with Nautica, or with our airplane, little bomber. They did it with just at the very beginning of this episode with the other personality of the boss, where his spirit inside of the body starts to dissipate and starts like showing and looks like it's really hurt. And then they do the same thing for her, bro. Like, I was so livid. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I understand you just got belly button pierced by Emperor Crimson, but oh my god, man. This show just don't care. There was never supposed to be any survivors, I'm pretty sure, and with the way that this is going, there will be none besides maybe Geo. And then he's going to lead the gangsters to a better life. I don't even see that happening, man. Like, even Geo himself is a pretty sketchy dude. Like, him figuring out that King Crimson could have been in any one of them, and then he was going to go to body to check, whose soul is into what. That being the one reason why King Crimson attacks isn't even actually the reason why he attacks. The reason why, I don't know why I call him King. I think it's because I saw next week's episode is the King of Kings, and that really is in my mind right now. King of Kings is in my mind. But to see Crimson straight up, and I mean straight up, come out and try to swing at Geo, who should not have had, as much time to react as Gene just told him. He's like, the blood will be all of a sudden a significant much more, so you'll just have to react at that time. He not only had to react, he had to then find out where the heck this guy was going to come from. Either he's going to come from in front of you, from Trish's body, or from Mista's body. And he's like in between all of them, and he still picks the right guy, which I think when stands come out and use their abilities, you can actually sense a little bit of it. Like, you can actually feel the presence of, the changing of the atmosphere and stuff like that if you're another stand user. So maybe that was the reason why he picked the right direction to go in the first place. But even that wasn't quick enough for him not to get his arm lopped off, which I mean, people can say, "Oh yeah, it was a part of the plan because you saw how he did golden experience and turned them into ants because he was like his blood was on his fist." Like, okay, yeah, he might have known that Crimson was gonna lop off his arm, and so in that thought process, I should leave this blood there. I think he just would have done that regardless. As soon as King Crimson started to run, he knew it was already a good choice that he had some of his blood land on him, and that he had golden experience out in the first place. So I don't know. This show always makes it look like they do stuff that isn't good, and then they also do stuff that is good, and you don't know which one's good or bad until they actually elaborate which one was bad or which one was good. So I'm pretty happy with what we get so far with this, but I mean, Trish, really? And then you're gonna show her looking like she's actually getting destroyed? Like, come on, JoJo. Trish could have been like one of the dopest gangsters in the organization after she made it out of this situation. Not to mention with how raw her ability is, and that the only reason why we got any type of edge or any way close to catching this arrow for our teammates is because of Trish. I guess that was her last big deed that she's gonna do before she's just gone, I guess. I don't know, man. That sucks. I really was getting... People were like, "You're gonna like Trish," and I started liking her, and now I regret liking her because she's gone. I'm just kidding. Thank you for giving her a chance for me and at least letting me know. But this episode of JoJo is absolutely nutty. I always love me some JoJo, but to think that we're still gonna get some ridiculous amount of outcomes and stuff like that, I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped to see what they do. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I'm going to try to get out Bound Dogs as quickly as possible because I have a birthday to go to. So the only reason why I'll have uploads overlap or like this close to each other is if like a situation's going on. So because of that, I will definitely get back to you guys soon. So take care and peace.